Today, I want to take you down the memory lane and tell you about the languages that I gave up on. Even though I've been learning languages for 10 years now and I managed to learn some of them successfully, I think I gave up on twice as many. And also, I thought it would be a fun video to film because you can kind of see how my style evolved, how my methods evolved. Make sure to like this video and subscribe, and now let's get started. Okay, so the first language that I've ever tried to learn was Turkish. I know that it's not a super popular language, but I had a very good reason to choose that language. That was in 2015, I want to say, and I was 13 at the time, and there was this massively popular Turkish TV show airing in Poland that was called Magnificent Century. If you know, you know. This, like, everyone was obsessed with this TV show, myself included. I was obsessed with the Ottoman Empire, with the TV show, and naturally I was obsessed with the language. I decided that I wanted to learn it. I downloaded Duolingo because it was 2015, I was 13, I had no idea about language learning. Duolingo was pretty new at the time, and I was like, okay, great, if this app promises to teach you a language, then that's perfect. Because I was 13, I didn't even think about like tutors or stuff like that. So yeah, I started with Duolingo, and I gotta say, I was so consistent. Like, looking back, 13-year-old me, I'm proud of myself. Yeah, I stuck with it for like a few months, I think. Obviously, when you use Duolingo, you can't really learn a language. I learned a lot of vocab, but then grammar started. And if you know anything about Turkish grammar, it's a lot different to other languages, because at the time the only languages that I knew were Polish because it's my native language, and then English because we had it at school. And it was just so new. So when the chapters got more and more difficult and they started focusing on grammar, I started struggling. There was this one chapter in particular that I couldn't pass for the life of me. I remember trying so many different times. I don't know what it was. I think it was because, like, on Duolingo they didn't really explain anything. I just couldn't like grasp the grammar point that they were trying to teach me. After some time, I think I just gave up because it became too difficult. But in general, learning Turkish was so fun. I have such good memories. I remember I started learning Turkish in my last year of primary school. Then I went to middle school. And in Poland, you learn English as a second language. And then usually when you go to middle school, I mean, it has changed now, like the whole system, but like at the time when I was at school, when you went to middle school, you had to pick a second foreign language. For me, the second foreign language was German. We didn't have a choice. We just had to learn German at my school. And I remember that's so cute. Like, looking back, I remember being so excited to start my German classes because there are a few characters or like a few sounds that are similar both in German and in Turkish. And I remember being so excited to finally learn how to pronounce them properly. I mean, I had a blast. It was so fun. And I think Turkish is one of those languages that I would like to go back to in the future. Maybe not right now or not in the near future. I think also Turkish is such a good base for other Turkic languages. Since I am very interested in Turkic languages, I think it would make sense for me. But yeah, just not right now. I really think that learning Turkish at 13 was what really got me into language learning. Yeah, that's the first language I've ever tried to learn. The second language that I've ever tried to learn or had to learn was German. Since I've already mentioned it, I figured I'm gonna talk about it because it's not a language that I chose myself. I don't know if it was the language or my teacher or what, but it was just never my favorite language. Like, it was never a language that I really liked. So yeah, there's really not that much to say. I took German for 4.5 years at school and I don't remember anything. I mean, if I really like thought hard about it, then I could probably like introduce myself and stuff. I don't think I'm ever going to learn German just because I'm not really interested in that language, and there are other Germanic languages that I am more interested in, like Danish or Swedish. Okay, so now let's fast forward to the beginning of 2020. I went to Japan with my mom. Even though it was like a really short trip, I fell in love with Japan, with the food, the culture, the like temples, the architecture. Everything about Japan completely wowed me, and I think it's because that was one of the first times that I've ever been to Asia. It was just so new and nothing like my world back home. Naturally, when I came back from that trip, I decided that I wanted to learn Japanese. And this is actually a recurring theme in my life. Every time I go somewhere and I completely fall in love with the country or the people and the culture, I want to learn that language. That was the case when I went to Cuba. I wanted to learn Spanish after that. When I went to Uzbekistan, obviously, love Uzbekistan. And now I am learning Uzbek. But yeah, Japanese, I really wanted to learn it. So I came back and I started learning my hiragana and katakana. It was going well. I even got a textbook. I remember going to a bookstore after school and picking out a textbook. It turned out not to be that good. But yeah, I was 17 at the time, so I didn't really know what I was doing. I didn't know that it would probably be a good idea to like search for textbooks online and see what people recommend. Again, I was pretty consistent with it. I think I stuck with it for like a few months. It was a transition period in my life. I switched schools and yeah, just a lot was happening, and also I was in high school. And if you know anything about high school in Poland, it's a big deal. Like you start preparing for your final exams, which are super important in Poland. So I had a lot on my mind. Japanese grammar and Japanese in general is a complicated language. So yeah, I gave up after a few months because with school and everything, it just got too much. But Japanese is one of those languages that, like, when I see someone who can speak Japanese, I'm like, wow, that is amazing. That is actually incredible. And I'm so jealous. I wish I could speak Japanese. But realistically, I don't think Japanese is one of those languages that I'm gonna go back to, just because I don't really have any connection to Japan. I mean, I'd like to go again, but can't envision myself living there or studying there or working there, whatever. So I don't really have a strong reason to learn that language, maybe for like a challenge on YouTube or something. But other than that, I don't really see myself learning Japanese anytime soon. All right, and now let's talk about my journey with Korean. And oh my god, this story is why I'm filming this video. This is what inspired this video, because my journey with Korean was a train wreck. Let me just say, that was, I think, my biggest language learning fail ever. Like, it's funny now, but at the time, it was horrible. It was absolutely horrible. So let me take you back to 2021. I had just moved to France to go to university, and as part of my bachelor's degree, we had to choose a few elective courses, and included in my elective courses, we had to take one language class. And because I obviously speak English, I didn't want to take an English class, and my university had the most incredible selection of languages. I decided that I wanted to go for Korean. Oh my god. So I decided that I wanted to go for Korean, and it worked with my schedule, with my other classes, so I was like, okay, perfect. So I had to sign up for a specific level, right? In my mind, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna sign up for A1. I mean, that seemed like the logical thing to do. That I thought that was the lowest level, the beginner level. So I sign up for my A1 class. I go to my first class, I sit down, I see the teacher, she introduces herself. And then she says, okay, so I want everyone to get a piece of paper, and I want you to write a paragraph in Korean about your summer vacation. And I was like, what? Like, I don't even know the alphabet. I don't even know how to introduce myself or anything. Long story short, it turns out that there was an A0 class that was for complete beginners, and A1 was for people who already knew a bit of Korean. To this day, I'm like so confused by all of this. The A1 class that I was a part of, I would not classify it as A1 whatsoever. So I find out that there is an A0 class and I panic. Turns out that the other group is full, so I cannot join it. I have to stay in this one. Everyone in my class had some prior knowledge of Korean, and also my teacher, she only spoke to us in Korean. If you go to a language class and the teacher only speaks your target language, then that's incredible. But because the class was so advanced, I was like, oh my god, like, what am I doing here? How am I gonna survive the semester? Like, I knew that after the first semester, I was gonna quit and never look back. But I had to still survive the semester. And I remember studying so hard. Like, I was really like putting in the effort, but it was not enough because my teacher, one thing about her, she was going through the textbook so fast. Every chapter in the textbook would usually take her 2 lessons. So by the time the semester was over, I think we had covered like, I don't know, like 5 different chapters or 6, which is a bit insane because the semester was like, what, like not even 4 months long. But yeah, basically I was studying so much on the side, and then we had 2 exams one in the middle of the semester and one at the end. So the first exam comes up and it's a written exam. And I studied so hard. I swear to you, I studied so freaking hard. I go there and every single exercise is fully in Korean. So I didn't even know what I had to do. My first note that I ever got at university was 2.88. And if you know anything about the French grading system, it goes from 0 to 20. So 2.88 is like tragic. So, I mean, it's funny now, but like, it was not funny at the time. After this exam, I decided to hire a tutor. So I would meet with her every single week online and we would practice everything. And I was so terrified because I knew that my final exam was going to be an oral exam. Let me tell you, it was a disaster. So basically, you had to go in one by one and you had to choose blindly from a few different topics. So I go in, I choose my topic, and I see that it's a sentence fully in Korean. And I was so nervous, I was so stressed that I couldn't even read what was written on the card. So I think I understood like 2 words out of the whole sentence. I think I said like 1 or 2 sentences max. I don't even know if they were correct, probably not, because I had no idea what I was supposed to talk about. Then my teacher asked me a few questions that I couldn't answer, obviously. And then I thanked her, I left the classroom, and I never, ever, ever looked back. And obviously, in hindsight, it was a huge misunderstanding because at the time I had no idea that there was such a thing as A0. But it's fine, I mean, I still passed. I mean, it lowered my GPA significantly. And it's one of those stories that I just love to tell people because it's just so ridiculous. Again, Korean is one of those languages, same as Japanese, that when I see someone who can speak Korean, I'm like, wow, like props to you. Could never be me. Okay, the last 2 languages that I'm gonna talk about were also languages that I learned at uni. In my second year, I decided to go for Arabic. Arabic has always been a language that I wanted to learn. It has always been my dream language. So I was so excited to start that class. Unfortunately, it was just not for me, and that's fine, right? Like not every teacher is gonna be for you, or like not every method is going to be for you. And my main issue was that my teacher was going super slow. Like my Korean teacher was going super fast. My Arabic teacher was going super slow. She took the whole semester to teach us the alphabet, which was a bit too slow for me because if you know anything about me, you know that I like to learn languages fairly fast. But still, it was a good time. But I quit after 1 semester because then it didn't work with my schedule. And Arabic is one of those languages that is number 1 on my language learning wish list. Yeah, it's always been my dream language and I am going to learn it one day. Maybe once I reach fluency in my other languages, I might pick up Arabic. I really want to make that dream come true. And the last language that I'm gonna talk about is Danish. Danish was also a language that I took at university, but this time it was the best decision ever. So I took it for 2 years during my second and my third year. I had 2 different teachers. Both of them were absolutely wonderful. They were both Danish, which was so cool. And yeah, I just had the best time. I don't even know what it was about that class, but it was just amazing. I think one of the things that I really liked about it was that both of my teachers, they really wanted us to speak. From day one, they asked us to read something out loud or form our own sentences, which was so nice. I love that type of stuff. In Danish, like the main, issue that people have learning Danish is the pronunciation. But they made sure to work on our pronunciation from day one. I had a blast, honestly. It was so good, to the point where 1 semester, my Danish class was at the same time as one of my lectures that I was required to go to. I decided that Danish class was more important for me. So I asked my friends if they could send me notes after each lecture, and the whole semester, I've never been to that lecture once. What was also super fun was that there is a Danish church in Paris and they organize language exchanges. So I would go every single month and it was a great way to meet people and a great way to practice Danish. Another thing, my teachers, they taught Danish to us and then they taught French to Danes in Paris, and they organized like a little pen pal situation. So we had to write letters to each other, and that was also so cool. And yeah, it was just like, because when you go to a language class, it's usually like you go through grammar exercises or like it's just boring. In my Danish class, it was yeah, I had a blast. So such good memories with Danish. I unfortunately gave up on Danish a few months ago because like the whole reason why I started, I forgot to tell you why I even started, was because I wanted to move to Denmark to do my master's degree in Copenhagen, but I changed my mind. It's no longer my plan. So I don't really like see the need to learn the language anymore. All right, that's it for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it. This one was more chatty compared to my other videos. So let me know if you like this type of videos. And also let me know in the comments which languages you gave up on and also why. I think that would be so fun to see. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like this video, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.